Whispers in the root cellar. The night I returned home, the air was thick with unspoken words, like the fog that clung to the ground, wrapping around my ankles as I stepped from the car. It was a home I had long since left behind, a place that echoed with the laughter of my past and the cruel mockery of my family. "You're obsessed," they'd said, their voices dripping with disdain. "You'll disgrace us. You'll lose your mind." I had ignored their taunts then, but now, after years of relentless pursuit and haunting discoveries, I was the one who had returned, not as the daughter they once knew, but as something else entirely. I had spent years spiraling down the dark rabbit hole of paranormal agricultural pathology, a field they deemed absurd and unhealthy. It began after I was falsely accused of causing a foodborne outbreak. My career as a food safety inspector shattered in an instant. As I stood on the precipice of professional ruin, I turned to the shadows of abandoned farms, drawn by the whispers of the earth. What I found was far beyond anything I could have imagined. Sentient plants with roots that craved more than mere soil. They hungered for fear, for despair. Now I was a renowned expert, a beacon of truth illuminating the hidden horrors of our world. Yet, as I approached the familiar front door, I felt the weight of my knowledge settle heavily on my shoulders. I was no longer the foolish girl they had ridiculed. I was a harbinger of what lay beneath the surface, a living testament to the consequences of disbelief. As I stepped inside, the familiar scent of old wood and stale air hit me like a wave. My family was gathered in the living room, their faces painted with surprise and a hint of apprehension. They had expected the failure they had predicted, not the woman standing before them. I felt their eyes scrutinize me, searching for the remnants of the girl they once knew. Instead, they found someone changed, hardened, scarred, and undeniably aware of the darkness that lurked just beyond the light. "Is that really you?" my mother asked, her voice trembling. The warmth of her tone was laced with disbelief, and I could see the gears turning in her mind, trying to reconcile the image of her daughter with the expert in front of her. "Yes, it's me," I replied, my voice steady yet hollow. "I've come to show you what I've discovered." They laughed nervously, the sound brittle and strained. "You still believe in those stories?" my brother sneered, though I could see the flicker of fear in his eyes. Their jeering had always masked their discomfort, but now it felt different, more urgent. "I've seen things you can't begin to imagine," I said, stepping closer, my heart pounding with the thrill of revelation. "Things that will change how you see the world." I reached into my bag and pulled out a jar, its contents swirling with a dark, viscous liquid. "This is a sample from a root cellar I discovered, a place where the plants have taken on a life of their own. They feed on fear, on the very essence of despair, and they're spreading." The laughter faded, replaced by a heavy silence. I could see the trepidation in their eyes, the dawning realization that perhaps my obsession had not been so absurd after all. "Let me show you," I urged, feeling the exhilaration of my dark knowledge coursing through me. "You need to see what I've seen." With shaky hands, I opened the jar, releasing a pungent odor that filled the room. The air thickened, and I watched as my family's expressions shifted from skeptical to horrified. Shadows flickered along the walls, and the very fabric of the room seemed to tremble in response to the unearthly essence I had unleashed. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and a deep rumbling sound echoed from the root cellar below, a sound I had grown all too familiar with, a sound that signaled the awakening of something ancient and hungry. "Close it! Close it!" my father shouted, panic rising in his voice. But it was too late. The ground beneath us shook, and the walls seemed to pulse as if the house itself was alive. From the depths of the cellar, a dark tendril emerged, twisting and curling like a serpent, reaching toward us with a sentient hunger. My heart raced as I realized the truth. The very plants I had studied had followed me home, drawn by the fear that now permeated the air. "Do you see?" I screamed, overwhelmed by the realization that I had brought this upon them. "This is what I've been fighting. This is what you mocked." Their faces were pale, eyes wide with terror as they witnessed the manifestation of my obsession. The darkness that had once been a source of ridicule was now a tangible threat, a reminder of the cost of their disbelief. In that moment, I felt a surge of vindication. I had survived the horrors they refused to acknowledge, and now they were forced to confront the truth. The tendril reared back, then lunged forward, and I stepped between them and the encroaching darkness, my heart pounding with the weight of my choices. "I'll protect you," I shouted, feeling the surge of power coursing through me. The knowledge I had gained was not just a burden, it was a weapon. As the tendril recoiled, I focused my will, channeling the energy of the plants back upon themselves. Their hunger twisted into something unrecognizable, and with a final, primal shriek, the darkness retreated, slithering back into the shadows. My family stared at me, their faces a mixture of fear and awe. I had become the embodiment of what they once deemed insane, a guardian of the very horrors they had dismissed. "Now do you see?" I asked, breathing heavily, my heart still racing. "The world is darker than you know, and I am no longer just your daughter. I am a witness, a survivor of the unseen." As they gathered around me, their expressions shifted from fear to understanding, the weight of their ridicule now a shared burden. We stood together in the dim light of the living room, the shadows whispering around us, a haunting reminder that some truths are best faced together or not at all. I had returned not just as a warning, but as a harbinger of what lurked beneath the surface, a testament to the price of ignorance. The darkness had not only been pushed back, it had become a part of me, a chilling reminder that the whispers of the root cellar would echo through our lives forever.